and welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. It's time to set your week right as we launch into the honorific stratosphere with none other than Jimmy Failla. Jimmy, welcome back to the podcast.
There he is. Jimmy's in the house.
Hello. Hello, Jim.
I'm wearing a sleek leather jacket.
You really are, Jim.
This is people.
I'm wearing like prison casual. I love this Frank Zappa shirt.
It's rad.
I was going to change and put a dress on, I was like, no, absolutely not.
No, but people think this is the thing though, because someone said this to me earlier. Like, it's a sleek jacket. I'm like, what they don't understand is this was actually just supposed to be baggy, but Jimmy got a little carried away with the fork and knife over the weekend.
I love your skinny jacket.
They're like, you and your form-fitting coats. I'm like, well, they weren't bought that way. But here we are.
I made two things this weekend that have to be noted. Because in addition to doing a post-football broadcast, we oftentimes talk about what we eat and drink, which I think is only appropriate.
Yeah, it's a big part of what we are.
I have been making Instagram recipes, which I really appreciate because you will find people to break things down in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I made this thing called Marry Me Chicken a couple weeks ago, which was phenomenal. And it was a 20-minute recipe. Very easy.
Love this.
It's like chicken and rice and cream and mole crap, and I loved it. So I got one over the weekend, which was like cook a whole fryer chicken in a cast iron skillet, which I know you love. In an hour, all you need is salt. And I'm like, I'm going to fire this son of a bitch up.
Let's talk about this.
I sliced some orange, shoved it in the cavity, and then, rinsed it, patted it, blah, blah, blah. Tablespoon of salt. Use two different kinds of salt. Himalayan sea salt and some Hawaiian rock salt. And put it in at 450. You have to heat the cast iron skillet first. At 425, take it out, put the bird in. No oil. Just put it back in. 450 for an hour. It was insanely delicious.
Stop it.
Our tour manager said it was one of the top 10 meals.
For real?
Yeah, and then I did sauteed green beans and mashed potatoes and gravy.
This matters.
Yeah.
Why do you not have a cooking show? The language?
It's the things that I do to foul the bird that are inappropriate. Like, women don't normally do that stuff.
People don't understand a lot of the chickens in her recipes were suicides. They took their own lives.
Sometimes I just go to Central Park and scare the pigeons.
Wait, you're going to do what with this feather?
Put them in my gin bag.
Hold on a second.
I also made a gin fizz.
Ooh.
Which is easy and delicious. It's like a Tom Collins, but you add egg white. So you do a dry shake. So you do ounce and a half of gin, ounce of lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup, and an egg white per drink.
Yeah.
Shake it for 15 seconds. Then you put the egg white, or then you put the ice in and shake it, and then you double strain it. Absolutely delicious.
Can I just say that as I'll co-sign this? Because there is a lot of gin drinks are based in a vodka recipe. The gin version it's the vodka version, but with the DUI arrest. It's just it's the same recipe.
Why does gin hit differently than vodka?
It's so weird, but it's so true. You know, the whole gin will make you sin thing you hear?
Yeah.
It'll also make you argue with a parking meter because I think it gets some type of an air into your brain. I don't understand it, but there's no other alcohol that makes me feel like a wino. You know when a wino's walking down the street arguing with someone who's not there?
Yeah, and so the Waste Management Pro, that golf tournament in Arizona where everyone just got obliterated, where, dudes are like walking backwards trying to balance themselves. I'd never heard of that event, but now I really want to go just to see the level of intoxication.
Yeah, why not? Let's go. So if it's a controlled environment, like say you're at a golf tournament, nobody's going to get killed. I mean, you're going to upset some sponsors. But other than that, it was just like
there was a man sitting there just peeing.
Yeah.
Well, he was so drunk he didn't realize that he was sitting in a chair fully clothed in public.
Yeah, no.
It was just urinating.
And if you start peeing yourself in public nowadays, they'll make you president. So you got to be careful. Now it's a much bigger commitment than you signed up for. So back to vodka. That's enough gin. Now you've got to be president because you peed yourself.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this.
Speaking of the president, I was watching, just moments ago, watching some footage on Fox News, and he can't help but shuffle. And I was like, he's got special shoes. Like he's got special anti-slip, anti-dementia shoes, which I think they should market because I believe there's a large portion of the populace who could benefit from those. And so I got to thinking who do you think has more special shoes, Biden or Ron DeSantis?
Ronnie D with the lifts.
Yeah.
That's funny. I wonder if Trump did send him a pair. Remember the Trump sneaks he made or whatever, which are just, phenomenal. The Hair Jordans or whatever the hell they're calling them. But no, it's definitely Biden. And it's a hard thing to watch because, bumper bowling where they don't want to like demoralize the kids, so they cover up the gutters. So the kid's guaranteed to hit a pin with every ball. But Biden's still managing to throw gutter balls, which is a hard thing to watch. But I would think, yeah, he has more funky shoes than DeSantis. I think DeSantis is probably back to being 5'3" again now that he's not running.
But nothing wrong with it. There's no shame in his game. There never was.
Yeah, but he's going to regain that height again in 4 years. Something tells me you're going to be seeing a 5'11" DeSantis out on the campaign
All right,
trail.
so Trump walloped Nikki Haley in South Carolina.
Did he ever?
And I know she's your sexy girlfriend, and you guys have done a lot of broadcasts together. And every time she comes out of the studio, I don't know what's going on in there. I don't judge. I just know
she's got the hair.
I know she's beaming. She's definitely got the hair. She's got the smile and the afterglow.
Oh, Haley, that's funny.
There's something about Nikki.
Well, well, what I was saying the other night is like she has ventured into Milton territory from Office Space. Milton gets fired, but he just keeps showing up. It's like
we fixed the glitch.
Her campaign headquarters now has her office in the basement at her own campaign headquarters.
Like, where's my swing line
she's
stapler?
Showing up. She just got a stapler. And
I said no salt. No salt. I'm the nominee.
And you know what? None other than Bret Baier. Yeah. Bret Baier. Gangster rapper. I believe 72 confirmed kills in Nam. Bret Baier is
more than Mr. Rogers. That's damn
more than Fred Rogers. Okay. But he flat out said the same thing. There's no path for her to win the nomination, period. And it's not even about outstanding delegates. It's about if Trump were legally incapacitated at this point, there's going to be such a resentment against Nikki.
Last out, first in. It's the rule.
Yep.
It's the rule. Last out, first in.
Yep. So
it's me or Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz didn't run. It's me.
And there's going to be, so there's no version of this that involves her actually getting the nomination. So you would have to wonder what she's doing unless she's been Miltoned and she just doesn't realize that she's been fired.
No, I think there are, and it's tough for female politicians because you have to thread a very delicate needle because you have to be as tough as any guy who's ever inhabited the office. That means you have to be intimidating. You have to show strength and backbone. You can't be a victim, unlike Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris and, you know, all these Democrat women for whatever reason. But I think she thinks that like hyper strength is showing as competence, and it's not. It's not really showing itself as political skill because I was thinking about it. Let's say we go to the convention and Trump is frog marched out of there right to federal prison until there's a vacancy for the GOP spot. They don't just go, "Oh, Nikki, you were in South Carolina. You were the last one. Like everyone else dropped out. Why don't we just give it to you?" That is not how it happens. She doesn't have, and I think she's a very impressive person. And I think she has an impressive resume. She makes a strong case for herself. There are a lot of people who like her foreign policy credentials. I still don't think that she can gather enough factions within the Republican Party to seal the nomination.
Well, because here's the other thing. If that scenario ensues where Trump's getting dragged out of there and he's not the nominee, he's going to essentially endorse somebody, and it ain't going to be her at that point.
It's Carrie Lake. You're absolutely right. Well said. Senator Lake.
I can't do media, have her come up and not mention the worst interview I've ever done was with Carrie Lake because she was just talking to me in talking points. And I got her to the finish line, and it was the year Arizona was hosting the Super Bowl. And all I need is any answer. You know, well, Arizona is hosting the Super Bowl. If you're the governor, what kind of Super Bowl party are you going to throw? And you can say wings, guacamole, beer, you're good. There's no wrong answer. Just give me a human answer. And as you know, she goes, well, when I think of the Super Bowl, I think of the national anthem. And I admitted, I'm like, no, that's not a real answer. That's not a real, you know.
Did she wear an American flag bodysuit to the Daytona 500?
No, I know who did.
I just want to know exactly right, Jim.
But you give me a real answer to the Super Bowl question.
You're damn right I would give you a real answer.
A cocktail recipe, food. We just need real people. We just
different cocktails for different foods.
Thank you.
I'm not screwing around here. Is this amateur hour? Yeah, it is.
Different strokes.
But frankly.
Yeah, well, that's the Biden re-election slogan, actually. A lot of people confuse different strokes. They think I'm talking about an 80s sitcom.
See, now, if I ran for president, it'd be different strokes.
Oh, there it is.
Friends,
she still got it. She still got it. The cable news.
That's just for our tour manager.
The shake weight herself. I love it.
Jim, have a wonderful week. I'll see you on Wednesday on your showgram.
Hot damn.
Hot diggity damn. This has been Kennedy Saves the World along with Jimmy Failla. I'm Kennedy.
Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app.
Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say.
You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.